'Tis a sad day indeed. This little propane burner that I have probably been cooking on for the better part of 25 years or so has finally died. And me and the best friend that I ever had in the world probably cooked on it for 20 years before he passed away, and I ended up with it. Time to replace it. So stand by and I'll show you the new critter we got, and we'll get a meal going tonight. So the new outdoor stove is going to be a Coleman propane. I haven't cooked on a Coleman since I was, oh my gosh, way back in my teens, and that was when you had to pump it up and use that fuel, and oh, it gave a really killer flavor to your food. I already don't like it. Got this propane tank sitting over here to the side that's really messing with my cooking space that I have. I've got a small patio here for those that haven't been here before. But tonight we're going to do something a little nostalgic. The old cooker that I'm getting rid of, sadly, after many, many years, was mine and a good friend of mine's. But tonight I am going to make a comfort food, and I'm going to use my Grandma Emery's Le Creuset cast iron pan to make something that me and Pappy used to make out at the deer lease on a regular basis, and that is Picadillo. So next time you see me, or next time you hear me, we'll be getting this stuff going. Didn't really plan on doing a video tonight, but since we're out here and got this thing going, I'm just going to use the iPhone this evening. But first thing we want to do, we're going to get some onion going inside of there, and some green peppers as well. The green bell pepper, that's about a half of the yellow onion. What I'm going to do is when these get about halfway done, I'm going to add the meat, just before they're halfway done, I'm going to add the minced garlic that we've got, and then we'll put the meat in there, brown the meat up, add some potatoes, add the Picadillo Olay seasoning, and we'll get this going. Right now I'm going to stir, be back into you. I'm one-handing it tonight, so got the onions and the green bell pepper just about where I want it. Now we're stirring in the garlic, and this should start smelling fabulous here shortly. And once we are done with this, and it gets down to about where I want it, I'm going to put the ground beef in there, get that going. And when the ground beef is about halfway done, that's when I'm going to add the Picadillo Olay seasoning. See what we come up with, and go from there. Back in just a minute. Alright, back here, I've got the beef in there. Now I'm going to go with the Picadillo Olay seasoning. I'll sprinkle that in over the top of everything. I'll stir it again. Again, I apologize for this handheld thing that's going on, but this is what I'm using. Picadillo Olay seasoning from Fiesta. And this stuff right here, pretty close to what I've eaten before growing up, and what me and old Pappy used to make out at the deer lease. So I'm going to stir that up a bit. After it gets going, I'm going to add a can of cubed tomatoes. Then we'll see how this stuff turns out, and maybe eat a bowl of it. See you all in a few. We're getting there. That 80-20 ground beef is doing good. The onions and the peppers and the garlic sauteed those in duck fat. Adds a little bit of a subtle flavor to it. A lot of people are going to say you don't need to do that. You know, you should do your beef first and then pull the beef out, use the grease from the beef. You know what? I like what I'm doing here. I'm going to just kind of go with it. It's the way I've always done it. Next up is going to be the tomatoes going in once this ground beef is fully browned. Then we'll add the potatoes. And we're going to let this simmer for a little bit until she's done. Y'all stand by. Again, we're one-handed tonight, so I wasn't able to show dumping the tomatoes in there, but that's a 14.5-ounce can of diced tomatoes that went in. And no, you don't have to use the organics. Why are we? Oh, because it was free on our app at Tom Thumb. That's the reason we got the organics diced tomatoes. Any diced tomatoes will work. Actually, if you want to, you can use Roma tomatoes, regular tomatoes. If you want to skip the tomatoes, you can actually just use tomato sauce. But we're going to let this simmer. I'm going to let it go probably 5 or 10 minutes, and then I'm going to add the potatoes that I've diced up. And we'll let the potatoes go until they're tender. We're going to add water as needed, but you only add enough water to keep it going. You want this to kind of have a gravy at the end. Really don't want it to be runny and soupy. Cranky out. Alrighty, this has been going for a little bit. Now it's time to add some potatoes. Just standard old russet potatoes you buy, usual Baker's or something like that. I've diced them up, dumping these in. And now we have added everything that we need to add. Pardon my finger. Again, this is handheld. I didn't want to get the big video camera, or the big camera out tonight. We're going to stir these in. We're going to add just enough water to cover it. And then I'm going to let said water simmer down and get these potatoes where they're tender. Once the potatoes are tender, we're done, and we are good to eat. By now, y'all probably need a Dramamine the way I'm using this round. But I'm going to add a little water. And this is a serious measuring cup here from NASA. But add a little water, let it go. Next time y'all see me, this stuff's going to be in a bowl. You know, I said the next time I'd be back, we'd be seeing a bowl of this. But if you look, it's still a little soupy. The potatoes are about where they need to be. But at this point, I am going to turn up the heat because I want this juice, a lot of this, to evaporate out. And I want it to turn into more of a gravy than a soup. So we'll be back in a bit. You can see there's some goodness in there. So we'll be back here shortly. And hopefully I'm making some strange noises when I'm eating this. Yes, this is my second bowl. What's the problem?